Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Heer Desai. I am the co-lead at Project Vedna. Alongside, I also look at the collaborations and community outreach at Project Vedna. We are thrilled to have all of you here today for our workshop on menstrual health and hygiene, titled as Beyond the Taboo, an open discussion on menstruation. As we all know, menstruation is a complete natural and biological process, yet it has often been shrouded in stigma and silence. Our aim today is to break that stigma and silence and those barriers that surround menstruation and have an open and informative dialogue about it. The workshop will be divided into two sessions. The first session will be an interactive session where we will engage in activities and discussions to debunk myths and learn about menstrual health. And the second part of the session will feature our esteemed speaker. Now, I would like to hand over to Kushal to begin with the interactive session. Over to you.
Thank you, Heer. Welcome everyone to this workshop. I am Kushal and I am excited to introduce you to the Confession series, a safe and confidential space where we address your questions and concerns about menstrual health. In a moment, I will share a Google form in the chat box. Please use this form to submit any doubts or questions you have regarding menstruation. Your anonymity is fully respected and all the submissions will be kept confidential. Throughout this series, we will explore various topics based on the questions you submitted. You have the next 15 to 20 minutes to submit your questions while HEMA conducts her activity. Feel free to ask anything. No question is too small and no question is too personal. Thank you for participating and let's make this event a supportive and informative session. And over to HEMA.
Yeah, good evening, very good evening, everyone. I am Himabindu and currently working as community engagement intern, as well as I'm dealing with the collaboration coordinator as well for Project Vadna at Sarkari School. Today, we are going to have some fun while learning about something very important, that is menstrual hygiene. But don't worry, this won't be a boring session or lecture. We are going to play a game called Guess the Period Product. Okay. Uh, who is excited here? Then, yeah, now let's start this. Here is how the game works. I'll display, uh, Dia, can I have this share screening of the PPT?
Yeah, just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you able to share your screen now?
No.
Or can I do that?
Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
We are so sorry for this delay. There seems to be some technical issue with screen sharing, and we're trying to figure that out. Just give us a minute.
Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, visible.
Okay. Yeah. I'll display I will display the question on screen that describes a period product, and you'll have to guess the product, and there will be four options to choose from. If you think you know the answer, then raise your hand and you can guess the product. Yeah, please. You can see the question on screen. Which period product might make you feel like a secret agent with the hidden mission inside you? A menstrual cup, tampon, panty liner, or a period underwear? You can unmute and you can answer the product, or you can use the chat box too. And yeah, yes, you are right. The tampon. Uh, Next slide, please. Yeah. And not the previous one. Next slide. Yeah. Uh, Many of us know this tampon. Yeah. These are the little plugs made of cotton that fits inside your vagina and soak up the menstrual blood, as mentioned. And how many of you know how to use this tampon? How many of you know?
I don't.
Yeah, next slide, please. You can next slide, please, Dia.
Yeah, just give me.
Okay. Yeah, you can see the flow like stepwise. You can first you need to wash your hands, and there will be a plastic paper thing on the on the tampon. You have to twist or pull off that, and you can insert the tampon into your vagina, and the thread you have to keep the thread outside hanging, and yeah, that's it. After 4 to 6 hours, you can remove it by using the thread hanging outside. You can pull it off. That's it. It will be like more comfortable and leak proof when it comes to tampon. Those are some advantages, I guess. Yeah, next slide, please. And the next question, which product sticks you to your undies like a clingy friend, but is there to save the life, so, save the day? Menstrual cup, sanitary pad, period panties, and tampons. You can answer in chat box or unmute and you can tell. Yeah, sanitary pad. Yes. It's not a menstrual cup, it's a sanitary pad. Yeah, you're right, sanitary pad. Next slide, please. Yeah, sanitary. Many of us use this on regular period basis, and yeah, no need to introduce this one, I think. But whoever don't know about this, yeah, it is a sanitary napkin or sanitary pad, is an absorbent pad that you can wear on your panties during your period days. And next slide, please. All of us know how to use and dispose this one. There will be a sheet backside the gummy one. You can remove the sheet and you can stick it to the underwear, and why you can like wear your underwear as well. like when it comes to disposal, you should remove the pad and roll it, or and cover it with a paper or something, and dispose. Then only you should dispose. Like you should not dispose it as you have removed in the same way you removed. You have to cover it first with some paper or something, then only you have to dispose it. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, which thin and discrete product is perfect for those days when you are not sure if you need it, but better safe than sorry. It's a menstrual cup or tampon, panty liner, or period underwear. Yes. Any more answers? Two of you have given. Yeah. Yes, it's right. It's correct. Panty liner. Please change the slide, please. Yeah, panty liner. And you can use not only for the menstruation days, we can use this on daily basis too. Like it's the same way we can use this in the same way like sanitary pads. Um, like we can use this like we can save ourselves, like uh, for example, uh, we think like it's most probably period days, but we are not sure it may come or not. But while if we use pads, it may like insecure, and it may get rashes too. But these are thin liney layers, so that we can like we cannot get the rashes easily as that of pads. Yeah, that's what some advantage of this. Next slide, please. Yeah, what product is like the eco warrior of period products, letting you save the planet? Or yeah, yeah, please unmute and answer. You can unmute and answer the question and guess the product.
Everybody has written in the chat, and I think it is the correct answer. So you can go ahead with explaining the answer.
Yeah. Uh, can you please change the slide, dear? Yeah, menstrual cup. Uh, these are like synthetic ones, which is eco-friendly, and we can use these for longer periods, like up to 4 to 5 years, like according to its expiry date. And the product we have used. The menstrual cup is a menstrual hygiene device, which is inserted into the vagina during menstruation. The purpose is collection of the menstrual fluid. Yeah, these we can use this, and yeah, these will be like you have you can feel like uh, you're in normal days, not in the period days, because you have no idea. Yeah, then you how to use the menstrual cup. You can use them, like you can fold it into C shape or 7 shape or double fold it, and you can insert into the vagina. Then after 12 up to 12 hours, you can remove and wash, and again you can use. you can reinsert or restore after your periods. You can store it, and you can use the same cup on the next periods too. Yeah, next slide, please. Which period product is like regular underwear but with a secret absorbent power, perfect for those just in case moments? You can unmute and answer the answer and or guess the product actually. Yeah, period panties. Yes, every one of you are writing. That's correct answer. Next slide, please. These are like our regular underwears, but there will be some material like absorbent material added in the area where the bleeding is absorbed, and we can use it like a regular underwear. We can wash and sun dry it, and again we can use, and yeah, that's it. Next slide, please. uh, Before this, I want to like tell you, explain you something. You may have some doubts for using the tampon or menstrual cup for your periods. That there is a myth, tampons or menstrual cups make you lose your virginity. This is because using a tampon can break your hymen before having your sexual intercourse. In Inserting tampon or a menstrual cup into the vagina is similar to having intercourse for the first time, but the fact is that as long as you haven't had intercourse, you're still a virgin. Like these will just uh, break your hymen, may break your hymen, not for sure. And how many of you know we can go for swimming even when we are on our periods? Please, unmute and answer. That will be more interactive for us.
I guess not.
We can actually, if we use tampons or menstrual cups and period panties too, but in case the swimsuit, according to the swimsuit, that thing, we can use, we can go for swimming even we are on our periods. And yeah, you can see this, can they be used when swimming? The tampon and menstrual cup and the period panties, if we use them, we can swim too. We can, yeah, go for swimming too. In the same way, we can play, like many of the athletes, they use these because periods uh, won't stop us from participating in any competitions or something. Yeah, in the same way, while swimming too, we can use these. Please change the slide. Yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hima, for conducting this quiz. Kushal, do you want to take over and talk about the confession series?
So we have received a few responses. I am sharing the link again in the chat box, like in case if you have missed the earlier message. Let me share. So yeah, I have shared the link. If you have not filled it yet, so you can go through. So let's begin with the shared responses. So I will share the question in the chat box also. So in case if anyone isn't able to hear them properly. So the first question is so yeah, first question is are there any specific dietary recommendation for women during menstruation cycle? So here, would you like to answer that?
Sure. So, while there are, best to my knowledge, while there are no specific dietary recommendations, it is highly advised that when a girl is on her periods, she should have food that helps her gain a good amount of nutrients. One should also avoid having any sort of food that contains a lot of say oil such as fried food in order to ensure that the digestive system is able to digest the food well, and therefore it is suggested that one should have home cooked meals and stick to having food that is healthy.
So yeah, the next question is why. Let me share in the chat box also. So why abdominal distension occurs during menstruation?
Okay, so while now I would like to give pass this forward to Dia, who can introduce our speaker, and then she can go ahead and answer these questions for all of us.
Hi everyone. So we are very honored to welcome Ms. Neha Lal, a healthcare consultant with over 23 years of experience. Ms. Lal has received multiple awards, including the Mother Teresa Sadbhavna Award and the APJ Abdul Kalam Sadbhavna Award. She has worked with Adnani Healthcare and GSC Medical College and is a recognized speaker and author. Her extensive knowledge and passion for healthcare will provide invaluable insights for our workshop. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Neha Lal.
Hey guys, very good evening to you. I'm really overwhelmed with the response. We have got about 40 participants in this session. And my kudos to this, first of all, Kushal, who has approached me for this very imperative topic. So thanks to you, he, as well as Dia, who has been talking to me, coordinating this event. And I'm really, really happy that, people are talking about it. And I'm really happy also to note that the men are also there in this forum for understanding that inclusive and diversity approach as to what women are going through when they are menstruating. So thank you so much, guys. Let us understand more in detail. Already I was looking at the exercise which been taken care of. I think many of the people are aware about generally that what are the products and how to use and do's and don'ts kind of a thing. I'll just touch base on the very very much important factors besides this bleeding matter, what we call is period. So I'll just share my slides. I have some very fewer slides just to touch base because I think in India, the awareness, thanks to such NGOs, I think the awareness has already been there. But I think what is not available as an information from the medical perspective, that because as we see in the hospital, there are not many infections, which is called the UTI, which is called any other infections related to the bleeding, which is generally being caused for using dirty products or not maintaining much hygiene. So this is very sophisticated part, which I would like to touch base. I'll just share my screen here. Can you see the slides? Dia?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is this.
Okay. So the topic, which is beyond the taboo, and I think we are having an open dialogue. Of course, people are participating, interacting over this particular exercise and quiz around menstruation. So this is the topic of the session. Why menstruation? Because the shedding of the uterine lining typically occurs every 21 to 35 days. the part of the reproductive cycle. Of course, it's essential, and why it is so important to talk about it, because which reduce the shame and stigma, promotes the health and well-being, and empower girls with the knowledge about that. So these are the whole idea and objective behind this session. This is the typical cycle of the menstruation. As you see, uh, it lasts from 5 to 7 days, and then there is a fertile period, and then that's when the ovulation happens, and then there is an infertile period. So these are the phases of menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulation, and the luteal phase. Why? Because there are hormonal changes, there are estrogen and progesterone fluctuations, effects on the body and mood, because these are the hormone actually working on our mood. These are the mood hormones as well. Awareness, sorry, average length of stay is typically 28 days of cycle, can range from 21 to 35 days depending on the woman to woman, and variation is normal because every biological system, every human being, every woman are different. So they actually experience everything related to menstruation in a very different way. We cannot generalize the thing. So if I say that I have a stomach ache and I have abdominal, cramps, may not be the same condition with another woman. If I'm bleeding high, and I cannot assume that other women are also facing the same issue. If I'm comfortable with the tampons, it's not necessary that other women feel the same. So every woman is different. So my urge here is to understand that we should not generalize the whole experience in nature, because it varies on woman to woman. Why? Because our body reacts in a different manner. Our hygiene habits, our biological function, our hormone level, our nutrition part, whatever overall health and well-being is different from one individual to other individual. Hence, sometimes the cycle is prolonged, sometimes the cycle is shortened, sometimes you bleed high, sometimes you don't bleed. Lot many variations are there. So this is very important to understand. Common exercises during the menstruation. These are the physical symptoms. Of course, there are cramps, bloating, there is a tenderness, fatigue, headache. The breast tenderness is there due to the hormone fluctuation. So I think there has to be some exercise. One has to deal with this over at least 5 to 6 days time. There are emotional changes could cause the mood swings, irritability, anxiety, or depression in some of the cases. If let's say in case of mine, if I'm going through the period, I'm going through my menstruation, I generally cool at myself. I do not want to talk to anybody. I feel little low in my energy. My days are not though productive enough at my office and my work. So it depends. So this is all my own experience. Okay. So there is a variation in experiences, as I just mentioned. Every person's experience is unique. Symptoms can change over the time. It's not the phase. If I'm, let's say, in my 30s, I had a different experience. Entering into the 40s, there are different experience. So this is not, I would say for example, if we have a fever, there is a paracetamol which works for all, right? We have a throat infection, we take the antibiotic, azithromycin, it works for all. Like in COVID, everyone has taken. But here, everyone is passing through different experiences. And now there are the stimulator for the men to understand when the stimulator is, actually mounted on the stomach and abdomen. Actually, the man can experience how the abdominal cramps are. So I think this is something no one can do about it. We as a woman, we as a girl have to absorb this. Now my talk is morely on the how to accept the menstruation as a experience and enjoy it rather than creeping about it. For that, we should know, of course, there have been a lot of talk about the tampons and disposable, sorry, on the pads. There are disposable used period underwear and menstruation cup. We have already gone through. These are the products available. My suggestion is in the remote area. If we talk about the rural part, I'm talking about even the tier 3 cities where such products are not available. My urge to this NGO, Sarkari School, maybe we can, there are corporate companies, and they undertake such CSR campaign wherein we just educate such girls, such women, and provide it with the necessary products, because that is very important from the menstruation hygiene. Being aware is one thing, and actually having the access of such product is a second thing. So I urge that if we can jointly do something about it and we can help the girls prevent the infection. How to use them safely, everything is been talked about. Proper insertion technique for the tampons and cups, changing frequency, guidelines have already been shared. I just request Diya and here if you could share the guidelines in Gujarati language or maybe any other language which you think, sorry, I'm from Gujarat. So whenever we are working on this project on every state, maybe that could, you can convey it the regional language in which the people can understand, and you can disseminate such information to those girls and women who needs it in understanding. This is because we are all aware and we are talking in English and we understand. But I think the whole accessibility and affordability is an issue in the rural area. So something can be done. Importance of the changing regularly prevents order discomfort, reduce the risk of infection. Few myths and facts I would just like to touch base. The myth is any form of physical activity can disturb the menstrual flow. That is a myth. Besides that, the fact is exercise and physical sports can actually help relieve the pain because you are just doing your muscle exercise. And the moment you do the movement, at least that will help to release the menstruation faster. Okay, so this is a fact. The myth number 2 is sanitary products should be kept private and covered in a paper when purchasing. Not so. The buying sanitary products is like buying a soap or toothpaste. They are all personal hygiene products. So one should not get ashamed of whenever you buy, you keep, you store, you use from your husband, your partner, your children, your family, your brother, sister, no matter what. This is just a hygiene product. I think we as a educated women, we need to start doing it so that the upcoming generation can follow it better. And maybe there's counterpart. Another myth is during their periods, the girls are impure and girls having their periods should not cook or visit the scared places. Any idea why? Because, that is a whole myth. The fact is period are just a nature's way of saying that you are growing up. There is nothing impure about the periods. However, there was this saying that, you can't go to the spiritual places, you can't worship and all that. Why? Because in the ancient time, in older times, that women are also facing such issues, right? The pain, abdominal cramp, weakness, anxiety, depression. And hence, just to make them relieve, just to provide them with the rest, there was myth which has evolved that you should not go to the certain places because you should take a rest. That was a logic. This was not the logic. So I think that from the ages we are following that we should not worship, God doesn't feel that way because this is a very natural process and we are the God's human. So I don't think that's a thing because I think that is something which we need to hit hard when we talk to the village girl or we talk to the rural India, because that is where the things are, because this is the biggest myth which I have observed. So the myth, of course, you can't swim during your period, which already been talked about. Menstruation is dirty or shameful. PMS is not real. These are all myths, wherein the fact are provide accurate information. That is what we have been trying to do. Menstruation is a natural process, healthy process, thus does not limit any activities with the proper hygiene, of course. When you swim, you have to take proper hygiene. PMS is real condition with a varying symptoms. So menstruation cycle, menstruation syndrome is a very natural thing. How to manage the menstruation? One is the tips for dealing with the cramps and discomfort. Heat therapy, that is a hot water therapy. Okay, hot therapy bottles, heating pads you can use. Over-the-counter painkillers are available. And light exercise or yoga will help. If you have the flexible approach, you can perform the yoga and meditation. Yoga will help you in relaxing your body within the flexible, flexible posture that will relieve your pain. Ultimately, that also boosts the menstruation and bleeding process. And meditation combined with the yoga will really help to deal with your anxiety and depression. Number 2, importance of tracking your cycle. It's very, very important. Help predict your future periods. If you know your cycle better, you are much more informed and you can, prepare yourself. Identify the irregularities, if any, because nowadays there are a lot many complications happen. Even though you are not married doesn't matter. Also useful in the family planning later in the life. So those are the married women. They can always track their menstruation cycle just to plan their family and pregnancy. When to seek the medical advice? Yes, if it is extremely heavy bleeding, you should seek the gynec consultation. Severe pain that interferes with your daily life, which you just can't tolerate, even after taking medicines. And number three, very important, irregular cycles. So if your cycles have been so irregular, meaning, your cycles are extended up to 2 months, 3 months, and sometimes you have a very heavy flow, every 15 days you get into the periods, maybe that is when you would like to see the gynecologist. Bit of environmental consideration, menstrual checkup, clothes pads, period underwear, everything should be thrown properly in the dustbin, not in the commodes or in the toilets or in the washroom. Proper disposal of single-use products. Do not flush pads or tampons, wrap and dispose in the trash. These are the environmental thing. Wherever we go and seek, I think we should volunteer ourselves to educate people if they are throwing here and there, because this is biological waste, and biological waste have to be properly segregated for the environmental safety. Someone has asked about what could be the right food and diet during the menstruation. I think in the menstruation we bleed, right? So we lost the blood. So I think the iron-rich food as well as calcium-rich food for the cramp relief are very, very important. And hydration is most important. If you keep on having some liquid, that is water, juice, lemonade, that will really help to release your, bleeding faster. And I think you can be relieved. So iron-rich food, of course, yes, calcium-rich foods, iron-rich food, you can have the fruits, you can have banana, milk, yogurt, and full of water during the menstruation. And of course, the regular exercise will help to elevate the cramps, boost the mood and energy level. When you exercise, you'll have the blood flow going on in your body. And I think this is overall, it will promote the health. But the myth is during the menstruation, one would not like to gym. I'm not asking that you hit the gym, but maybe you can always do the light exercise just to promote your overall health. Mental health and body positivity, embracing your body's natural process, understanding that the menstruation is normal and the healthy, and celebrating body's capabilities. Now, this is not the disease, so we know that. So mental health is really, really important. When we are down with the menses, I think we need more positive mood around, right? Just to balance our negative energy, which is coming from the menstruation with the hormonal fluctuation. So I think mental health and body positivity both are important. I would suggest one should always practice yoga, meditation, and light exercise while menstruating. That will real help. This is my personal experience as well. And dealing with the social stigma, strategy for the confidence, how to educate others, importance of an open communication, which really helps, because there are a lot many myths already there in the market and in the society, in the community. I think if we try and communicate openly, try to find the logic out of it, try to understand the biological part, try to understand the hygiene part, I think that would really help women to understand what is the menstruation is all about. And I think this is not something which only related to women. It also need that men also equally participate into it. With that, I wish everyone to have as a very happy period, and I'm really open for any questions and answers.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this very insightful presentation. We would like to now open the floor for questions. Kushal, if you could please moderate for the questions that have arrived in the Google form. And ma'am, if you could please cater to those.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I'm also sharing the questions in the chat box. So why abdominal distension occurs during menstruation?
Can I? Yes. So why the abdominal cramps? Because in the menstruation, the follicle, your blood and the impurities are passing through a follicular tube to the ovary to the vagina. So I think that whole process where your flow is happening, that really causes a bit of the muscle strength inside, stress during the tissue. So that whole movement causing you the abdominal cramp. It's not the abdominal per se, it is a kind of a lower abdomen. So lower abdomen affects, and that is where you feel the cramps, because you really feel there's some movement going on. Some movement is going on, because when there is a heavy flow, I think you would rather, when you sleep at that point in time also, it is menstruating at the night, but then you won't feel it because you are in the sleep state. But when you are awake, you are an active mind, you will really feel that activity inside the abdomen. I'm talking about the lower abdomen, and that is where you feel this cramp. As I said, every woman are different. So many would feel the very high abdominal pain, many would feel very less. So it depends.
So next question is.
But then with the abdominal cramps, I think I suggest to use the hot water bag. So if you put the hot water bag on the lower abdomen when you are feeling a huge pain, like that, I think that would really give you a relief.
Yeah, so next question is, what is the perfect attitude and behavior of a partner towards like this girlfriend during this time?
See, again, during the menstruation, this is not kind of, I would say that this is a disease or sickness wherein one has to give an attention. My first point is rather than depending on the partner, raise your own confidence. Try to be healthy, try to be confident, try to accept this natural process. Because if I say something, everyone's partners are not same. However, if you are asking these questions, I would just say that uh, I'm not personally thinking that this is a sorry state of condition where I'm dependent on my partner to make me feel happy. I think this is something which you are dealing with. No matter what, you only know that what is going on. So the idea is that you should boost your own self-esteem, self-awareness, do the yoga, meditation, make yourself happy. Eat if you want to eat something which is good for you. You can eat the chocolate. Now you can have some light humor just to kill the depression, anxiety. If you have a supportive partner, of course, the partner can join in this particular phase wherein you are also feel happy about it. But depends. I'm just telling the truth. Very good question, Kushlal. Paid menstruation leave. I work for Adani Healthcare. We have the paid menstruation leave. Lot many companies, MNC, have realized that at least 2 days of menstruation leave is very, very important. Not because people are menstruating less or high, not because of the symptoms, or maybe the going to the office or going to the work. That particular period makes women kind of very tired and make women very low. So if the women are given 2 days leave, it's not leave, but I think it's a kind of a work from home situation. I would urge women to work. If it is possible, they can work from the home. So the company also should can consider. It is a very sensitive topic, but people have realized considering the DNI mandate, because diversity and inclusion, where you have to have women employee and the inclusivity to understand both the gender, not only man and woman, everyone. So my say is yes, menstruation leaves are encouraged to give 2 days leave where women can work from home if possible. And if they have to be on site, I think can't help. Then they have to get rest. But yes, this is a positive move.
So the next question asked is, recently traces of lead and arsenic were discovered in tampons. Is there any regulation on menstrual products like that?
Uh, Tempos are not much used in country like India if compared to the outside countries, in Western countries, the tempos are more used. So here, still, tempos are being distributed as well as sold off in a very lower scale. So the regulation per se, if I talk about kind of a sanitary pad market compared to the tampon market, it is still to get pushed up. So I'm not much clear on the regulation part. It yet to come in India.
Okay, so the next question is, like I have shared in the chat box, you can read.
It was only November, the actual period that was used to just. I can just read the half if you can just finish it off with.
So it was only in November 2023 that actually period blood was used to test menstrual product. What is the status of research and development by those menstrual products and menstruation in general?
Sorry, I don't know about it. I have to read about it.
Oh, okay. So I'm sharing another one.
But thank you. I'll get into it.
How can we address the harmful environmental impact of menstrual products?
It's just that proper segregation in hospital, in healthcare. This is also one of the biological waste. So in hospital, we call it biomedical waste, right? So during the surgery, during the operation, while treating the patients, whatever the biological waste we generate, what matter our biopsy, our organ, our tissue, our cells, our own blood products, our own blood, everything is considered as a biomedical waste. There are guidelines as per the Biomedical Waste Act. And as per the guideline, we need to segregate those biomedical waste. So biomedical waste generally are taken to the center, which are authorized, where there are incineration and there is a processor. They process the biomedical waste just to make it environmental friendly. Once they process it, make it disinfectant, and then they discard it. So there is a whole process which hospitals generally follow, and it is a mandatory in India, mandatory for all the state, for all the hospitals. So these are the guidelines. But on a regular days, if we dispose of our menstrual products in a proper waste bin with a liner and all that, that really would help.
So sharing the next.
No, painkillers are not harmful for the period cramps. You can take the OTC product. You can take at least Combiflam or any painkiller, and I think that would make your pain relieved. However, it does not hamper any process. It does not hamper your liver or nothing of that sort, which is highly recommended.
Yeah. And what are the side effects of menstrual cup? Is it safe enough?
Yeah, it is very much safe provided you are comfortable with. There are companies who have just started making. There are the bio natural cups also, which it's kind of a use and throw. You can use it for 1 year, 5, 6 months. You can just wash it properly. You can keep it. But then what I see, menstrual cups are not that effectively being used. Maybe because of the comfort level. So if it is comfortable to anyone, they can use it. But it is also safe. I don't think so. There is some problem. Of course, one has to see the material of it, which is the material by which the cups are being made.
Yeah. So the next question is, why do gynecologists recommend using for hygiene during periods?
Very, very important. We discussed, I think, in one of the exercise also, it was very important to maintain hygiene. When you're using the sanitary pad, make a habit to change it at least twice a day if you are going through the heavy flow. Wash your vagina properly before using any menstruation products, because see, ultimately this is decontaminated blood, nothing else, and that food can cause a vaginal infection later on. So if you keep your hygiene, I think you can avoid lot many infections and avoid the visiting gynecologist.
Yeah. So the next question asked is, menopause excessive bleeding cure?
What does it mean? Menopause excessive bleeding cure.
Someone has shared in the response.
So during the menopause, I think you are done with the age, and I think during the menopause you can't bleed. You don't bleed much.
Yeah. So the next question is, what critical gaps exist in the current government policies on menstrual health, and how can this be addressed to ensure comprehensive support for menstruating individuals?
Government policies, if we talk about, there is nothing much, but they are taking initiative on the awareness. Uterine infections are UTI is highest in women, probably from the rural India, from the rural part of India. So I think the menstruation leave is in the consider in the government policy number one. Government is also taking lot many initiatives in making awareness to the women and girls, where they are also talking on curbing the myths and trying to come out with the facts. So lot many such initiatives are already being taken by the government. It is up to us. I would suggest even the private sector is also equally important, not to ignore this fact but also support this.
Ma'am, a participant has asked a question in the chat box. Can you go through? Like, I'm sharing it again. So she said, "Thank you, ma'am, for demystifying and sharing the right information. I have a question regarding my menstrual cycle. I have taken medication to ease the pain during menstruation, but I have noticed that after taking the medicine, my bleeding stops. Then after 4 or 5 days, the bleeding starts again abruptly. So what could be the reason for this?"
Oh, I'm not the right person to answer, Beta. I think you'll have to see the gynecologist. That this is something to do with some investigation.
Okay, ma'am. That's all we have received the responses. And ma'am, I would like to know what are your views around Project Vedna and all and Sarkari School.
I I think this, I have gone through your page, got some insight. I suggest that you continue doing so. Mainly how to disseminate the information to the women who are in need. Maybe you can have the concept paper and doing the ground level activity with some volunteers that would really help in a regional language which they understand. And of course, you can take some help from the CSR budget of any MNC or corporate company so that they can support you financially if required.
Okay, ma'am. Dia, would you like to add on something?
Okay, so I would like to thank everyone for joining us today for this insightful workshop on menstrual health and hygiene. Firstly, a very heartfelt thank you to our esteemed guest speaker, Ms. Neha Lal. Your expertise and inspiring words have enlightened us and provided invaluable insights. We are truly grateful for your time and effort in making this workshop a success. To all the participants, thank you for your active involvement and enthusiasm. Your questions and engagement made this session interactive and enriching. We hope you leave today with a better understanding and are inspired to spread awareness and support for menstrual health in your communities. Let's continue to break the taboos and foster open conversations about menstruation. Together, we can create a more informed and supportive environment for everyone. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you at our future events. Have a great day. Before we end the meeting, can everyone turn on their cameras? We can have a picture with our guest speaker. Yeah, coming to the certificates as well. So I'm sharing a WhatsApp group link in the chat box. So kindly join the WhatsApp group, and I'll be sharing a drive link in which all of your certificates are going to be there within this week. So by within next Saturday, all of your certificates should be there in the drive link. In case of your certificates are not there, you can message us on the group. You can message me or Leave. We are there in the group. You can message us. I'm just sharing the WhatsApp group link. Just give me a second. The WhatsApp group link. You all can join the group, and your certificates should be there in the drive link within next week. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you so much, Neha ma'am, for being a part of our workshop. It was really, really nice to have you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you
Dia.
so
Thank
much.
you, Heer.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the
Thank you
best
so
for your
much.
project.
Thank you.
Please join the WhatsApp link. I'm going to be ending the call now, so please just join in if you haven't already. Thank you, everyone. I will now be ending the call.